Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high. Cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold up, we just saying hi. Five somebody rise up weekdays. Catch us live, somebody. Let's go.
Good evening. Good morning and good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Hope you guys are all doing well out there. Hope this show finds you in good spirits. I know I keep saying that every single show, but the reason why I say that is it's really important. When you're in good spirits, it makes you listen. When you're in good spirits, it makes you want to do something positive with the rest of your day or the night, wherever you're watching this show right here. And right now, I need you guys' help. I need you guys to focus. I need you guys to listen. If you're in the Corpus Christi, Texas area, surrounding areas, please, I need every single last one of y'all to listen up to this very important conversation that we're about to have with Caleb Harris's father and a family friend. So be sure, turn those headphones up. We got a lot of questions. Hopefully we get some answers, and hopefully it gets us closer to finding this missing 21-year-old man. So before we get into everything, please do me a favor. Hit that like button down below. You know the deal, okay? You know what to do. If you're watching on Facebook, hit that reaction button. If you're watching on Twitter, hit that like button, or X. You know what it's called, okay? Please do me that favor. Hit that like button if you're watching on YouTube. Don't forget, hit that follow button on Facebook, all those social medias, okay? Make sure you hit that subscribe button on YouTube. That'll be greatly appreciated. And just a quick reminder, guys, just so you guys know, I will be doing a small after show conversation on TikTok live tonight, right after this show. So be sure to tune in. We're going to have an open conversation, bring more awareness to Caleb Harris's case. So be sure to be over there and be a part of the conversation. Especially, we're going to be going over the things that we learn in this conversation tonight. Okay? So be on the lookout for that. All right? Don't forget, if you want to join this channel, support this channel, hit that join button down below. Become a member. Join my Patreon, patreon.com/The Pascal Show. And of course, you can always join and check out my merch page, pascalmerch.com. Okay, check those things out. That'd be greatly appreciated. All right. Okay, guys, we have got to get into these things. We got some things we have got to talk about. We got many miles to go before we sleep tonight. Yes, I know. It's a lot to ask from you guys. We just did a big conversation this morning, but we are here again to have another big conversation. And what's going on is, as you guys already know, if you've been following this case at all, or if you saw my show just yesterday, because I just broke it on my channel, the case of Caleb Harris. He's 21 years old, out of Corpus Christi, Texas. He was hanging out with some friends one night on March 4th, playing video games with some of his friends, his roommate and a friend of his. They were having a really great time. They took a break. They went outside, took the little puppy, Jenny, for a walk to do whatever the dog needed to do. He seemed to be in great spirits. I mean, look at his face. Infectious smile. Seemed like he was in great spirits that night from that ring cam footage that we've seen with the dog and two of his friends. So it gets late. Apparently he was getting ready for a fishing trip that night as well, for a fishing trip the following morning. Bunch of his friends, or his roommate and his friend, were basically saying, hey, we're going to call the night. We're going to turn in. He said, hey, I am going to call in Uber Eats, get a couple items for tomorrow. I'm going to get my stuff ready for the day tomorrow, because I'm after school, after classes, I'm going to go fishing and enjoy my day. So he orders Uber Eats. He takes the dog out for a walk. comes back. Then he goes off and takes another walk. But then he never returns. Uber Eats does deliver that food, that very food that he ordered, and just leaves it right there at the doorstep or at the doorstep. The family, the roommate, wakes up, opens up the door, and sees that the Uber Eats is right there, delivered. But no Caleb. So this is where we are right now, guys. It has been starting tomorrow, or tomorrow marks 30 days, a whole month since this young man has been seen. We don't know where he is. We don't know what has happened. The family is reeling, trying to figure out what is going on here. They want to know where their son is, where their loved one is. And one thing I do want to point out before we bring our guests on the show, this case has not really gotten a whole lot of light under the sun. Let me just say that really quick. It's been almost 30 days. Tomorrow, let me just check the time. Yep. Starting tomorrow, as soon as it's tonight, really, as soon as the clock strikes 12, it will be 30 days since the last time anyone has seen this young man. And where is the media coverage? Where's the hashtags? Where are the questions that are sparking for, of course, a lot of other missing person cases? But I'm asking right now, as you guys are watching this show, and for those of y'all who are watching the replay, to please hashtag, put his name out there, put his photo out there, start asking the much needed questions, because we need to find this young man. So to join us tonight, I'm very honored to have a family friend, a friend of the family, Tony Mathis, on the show, and of course, the father of Caleb Harris, Randy Harris, on the show. Please welcome them, y'all. Hello, guys. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for having us.
Of course. It's an honor to have you guys on. So there's a lot of stuff that's been going on as of the last 24 hours, let's just say. Of course, we're going to be talking about that in a little bit, but I wanted to know a little bit more about Caleb himself. I know you guys have probably answered that question a million times over by many other people, but for those of the people that are watching the show right now that don't know a whole lot about Caleb, can you give us a little bit of insight of what kind of young man he is? Randy?
Sure. It's hard to start because there's so many good things about Caleb and that we love him. He's an outdoorsman. He loves to get out and fish, obviously, and hunt. He plays guitar. He just loves music. He's got a very, very close-knit group of friends and roommates that they all hang out together. Most of them have grown up together since first grade. And, going to Texas A&M Corpus Christi, he's getting his environmental science degree, and with hopes of, going on to doing, maybe something outdoors, whether it's a game warden or maybe even environmental law. We've talked about that. And so, he's a creature of habit. Everything that he was doing prior to him being missing was just getting ready for the next day, like you said. And he texted me several times that evening. He's very, like I said, creature of habit. So he doesn't just go out and throw a shrimp on the line. He's fishing, hunting for a particular species or whatever. So we go back and forth on which lures to use. And he took a picture of his tackle box and, hey, I'm going to use this, and this tomorrow. Again, like you mentioned, he ordered Uber Eats. And I'm going into the timeline, but
it's okay. That's okay.
It just shows, the preparedness of what he was doing. He gets 2 Lunchables, a Red Bull, and an apple pie, and
mm-hmm.
that is normal. They get up Mondays they're a little bit late getting up, and they have later classes, and then always goes out with a friend, whether it's a roommate or one of his other fishing buddies that he's known for a long time. And, they go grab the kayaks, or they get their waders on, and they're going to go wade fishing or whatever, and they target different species. So it's a very calculated, this is what I'm going to do. And then he was also preparing for a summer job in Alaska, working up there, and part of that ties into his major. And so he's ready, looking forward to doing that. He has already signed a school lease for next year, and getting classes together. And so, he's preparing for the future. And so that's where we were at. But as far as he's just been a fun loving kid. I mean, I could show you a million pictures of him growing up. He's always outside, always helping people. Just growing up in the church. He's always involved with the music. He loves to play guitar and drums, and he can pretty well pick up any kind of string instrument and play it. It is pretty amazing.
Oh, that's so a really gifted kid.
Yes, absolutely.
Long story short, and a passion for the outdoors, from my understanding.
Yes, sir.
Right. And it's amazing to have that kind of skill. I mean, he's going out and he's hunting for, or fishing for, or going for something very specific. That's an amazing skill. Not a lot of people have that skill. So that's amazing to know a little bit more about him. And I appreciate you telling me that. What were you going to say?
Doesn't sound like a kid that just walked off, does it, Pascal?
No, it doesn't. It really, really doesn't. So real quick, the night that he disappeared, I know that we got to go into the timeline and talk about that as well, but I know I might be going a little bit backwards here, but did you find out you found out the very next day, right? The day of his disappearance. So where were you, and how quickly were you on the scene?
We live in New Braunfels, but I was working just south of town, and I got a call from my wife, and one of the roommates had called her and said, "Hey, look, this has happened. We can't find him, and we've already called the police." And so I was already an hour south of town, so I immediately got down here, and within just a couple of minutes of getting here, we called the police. They were immediately there, and that's when we really realized that this is different. It's definitely different. And luckily, the police officer agreed. He said, "Yeah, this is not right," and immediately, posted it as a missing persons nationwide with bolos and everything.
Gotcha. And of course, did they say anything as far as any foul play? Are they suspecting anything of that sort? Because I have yet to see anything as far as reports of it being reports of foul play. Does that make sense?
Well, so technically the case is still classified as an aggravated missing persons case, but I can tell you definitively it's being investigated as not a missing persons case where somebody runs away. It's if you look at the affiliation of the investigators that are in charge of the case, it's clear that they're not treating it as just a missing persons case.
I see. Can you elaborate a little bit more? Do you mind expanding on how?
Yeah, sure. So you have Corpus Christi Police Department's not huge, but they've got some very, very good detectives. So if this were treated as, let's say, a runaway, you would have one group of detectives. We have homicide detectives working on this case, the same guys that work on trafficking, abductions, and everything else. So we're not dealing with just a tip line and a runaway type case. And in addition to that, we have it's been well broadcast that we have other entities that are heavily involved here. And the FBI, the Texas Rangers, the U.S. Marshal's Office, permission today to share that the Secret Service is involved in this case.
Mm-hmm.
So, obviously those are not entities that are involved in a runaway.
Gotcha. I see. Okay. Good to know. That's very, very good to know. And Tony, can you let everybody know a little bit about yourself and your involvement in this particular case?
So I'm a friend of Randy's and the families, and a co-worker of Randy's. We've been working together for coming up on 3 years, and I got involved initially as more of behind the scenes guy, trying to help with social media and some of those things. And it became apparent that Randy needed somebody to give him a little direction as to how to handle some of the publicity, and also somebody that had the ability to just be an advocate for the family. And we're dealing with a lot of situations where if Randy had to navigate these by himself while he's also dealing with the emotional part of his son, I don't think it would be a good situation. So in addition to that, Randy and I are kind of living the same lives. I mean, we work the same type jobs in different territories, and I, like Randy, have an older son that's in college and a younger daughter that's in high school. So about as relatable of a situation as this could be.
Gotcha. Yeah, I understand that 110%. So let's talk about this timeline. As far as what we know so far. Okay, so he was hanging out with his buddies. They were playing some video games. They were playing some video games online with another buddy of theirs out in Colorado. This is from what the reports that I'm seeing. So correct me if I'm saying anything wrong here, okay?
Right.
Because some of the reporting I understand is not entirely correct or accurate. But they got done playing some video games. They went outside to take the puppy Jenny, right? The puppy's named Jenny.
Yeah, puppy's named Jenny.
Okay.
And they had just been one of the roommates didn't bring the dog home till late, so it was about 10:15, 10:30 before they actually saw the dog. So of course they're all excited, and it's something they've been wanting to do, get a dog and have a fishing dog, to go out and kayak with them and stuff like that. And they were getting it a life jacket the next day and all that kind of stuff. So that was just something that was fun. And Caleb was playing video games with one of his buddies that goes to school up in Colorado that he grew up with. And that's when, they were outside. So anyway, I'll let you go.
Sure. No, it's fine. But so he was playing video games. They took him out. They took the dog outside, Jenny outside, to maybe take a tinkle, do his business, whatever. Maybe for them to even stretch their legs as well. But all three of them were outside, and then they were caught on this caught on this ring cam, right? And and from the looks of it, it seemed like he was having a great night, smiling and just regular, good old fashioned Caleb, right?
Exactly.
So then they go back inside, right? They hang out for a little bit longer. They hang out a little bit longer. I think you guys have an alert thing going off on there. But where was I? Sorry. No, it's okay. It's okay. So they go back inside. Then after a little bit of time, the two buddies that he was hanging out with, the roommate and the friend, basically say, like, they both mutually say, yeah, it's time to go to bed. It's time to turn in. Friend leaves. Roommate goes to bed, but Caleb says, hey, I'm going to get some stuff together for this fishing trip that he's planning on doing the following day, or that following day, right? Correct?
Right.
So, because technically it's still the morning of the 4th. So that 4th, he was planning on doing a fishing excursion later on that day.
Correct.
So he ordered some Uber Eats. He bought a bunch of some Red Bulls, some Lunchables, and you were saying it earlier, and I've heard you say it in many other interviews before, that this is a typical order.
Yeah.
For Caleb
to tell you what he's going to order.
Okay. So he's fairly traditional.
Very.
Okay. Very predictable.
Yes.
Okay. I think that's important for us to know too. Most definitely important to know about that as well. So this is the part where it gets a little weird, for me at least, and maybe for everybody else and maybe for you guys too. But he takes Jenny out for another walk. He sends a Snapchat of a video of him walking Jenny via Snapchat. He sends this video to his sister, correct?
Correct.
To his sister. And then there's another Snapchat that's taken of this drainage ditch, this bridge over a drainage ditch around 3:03, give or take the time, right before his phone loses signal or phone dies, and then he disappears. So I'm curious about a few things. He took the dog out for a walk, and I'm assuming he went back into the apartment, right? And dropped off Jenny, correct?
That's what we have right now. Yes.
Okay. So then he walks back out, and from my understanding and from what I've heard from reports from you as well, Randy, is that he walked out barefoot?
That's what we feel like. I mean, even the pictures have him barefooted, and the videos he's barefooted, which is common. And we pretty well accounted for, what we feel like is 100% of his shoes. He wears a size 13. In addition to that, the only thing that we can't find was his cell phone. So he had his cell phone, and we have his keys, we have his wallet, we have his truck. Everything's locked up. And again, he just doesn't do stuff like that.
Gotcha. So he left everything behind except his cell phone.
Correct.
Even his shoes. Now, I'm curious, because I know there's some people who like to be barefoot. There's some really, there's some people out there that I know. I mean, it's very few, but that like to have their feet planted on the ground, literally. Is he one to walk out of his own place barefoot? Is that a normal thing for him?
I think it would be like for where he's at. I mean, they could walk outside to run, go by their vehicle, get something out of the truck, whatever. And then the front door, which is actually, a lot of people think it's the back door, but the front door is facing the swimming pool in a grass area where, they could take the dog to go to the bathroom or whatever. And there's it's all concrete walkways there. So it wouldn't be uncommon for kids to walk around there barefooted all the time.
I see.
Yeah, short distances, right? I mean, he's going to go out and grab something out of the truck. He's going to go walk the dog. I mean,
the mailbox is right there.
Yeah, the mailbox. I mean, just typical short distance things. You put on a pair of flip-flops. He wasn't much of a flip-flop kid. So, I mean, it's just short distance type things.
I see. So if he was to walk that short distance and he left without keys, without his wallet, and if it's not a trip to a car, definitely not a trip to the mailbox. And I'm assuming at that time, the pool is probably closed. What would he be walking out barefoot out there in the first place for at that time of night? Any ideas?
Not any solid ideas. I mean, yes, he had an Uber Eats order coming in. So if he was maybe trying to meet the Uber Eats person, outside, without waking up his roommate or whatever. I mean, we just don't know. I mean, we really don't know.
Right. Right.
So Pascal, think through this situation. You've used the Uber Eats app, I'm sure, DoorDash, whatever.
Right.
When these kids order these Uber Eats orders, they always do contactless delivery. They pay for everything. It's always contactless delivery. So if he orders that at, let's say, 2:44, 2:45,
yeah,
he's got the new dog he's messing with, and he's just basically out killing time until he gets not until he gets the delivery in his hands, but until he gets the alert on his phone that the Uber Eats order's been delivered. He's out walking around killing time. He's Snapchatting his buddy back home. That was the 3:03 snap. He's just basically out hanging out. I mean, it's 70 some degrees. It's a nice night, and he's an outdoor kid.
Yeah.
So really, when you look at it like that, it's not that abnormal. I mean, it's not necessarily that he was outside to do something. He was probably outside killing time, if that makes sense.
I see. And that could very well be it, for sure. but I do have some questions that might not be the most comfortable questions to answer. And I mean this, and I'm asking this with all due respect. It's just questions that I'm curious about, that maybe could be wrong, could be right. I don't know. Right. I guess every question is on the table. Right. So he was hanging out with his buddies and all that. Was there any consumption of alcohol at all that night that you know of?
Earlier in the night. Yep.
Okay. Okay. Was he a smoker? Did he smoke cigarettes?
No, sir.
Okay. Do we know anything about cannabis, any type of THC, of any type of thing? If you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, not much. I mean, he's a college kid, right?
Right. He's 21. He's a college kid. He's 21.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, you know, we don't want to make him be anything that he's not.
of course.
But, you know, I can tell you that he was a very typical college kid. And,
Okay.
you know, so, but that night, it essentially they'd had some drinks earlier in the night. And,
Okay.
you know, I mean, you can clearly see they're on a doorbell cam at 12:46. He's of good sound mind and body to be texting his little sister on Snapchat at 2:45.
Right.
So, you know, those are questions that, you know, we've had to go through those questions. And, you know, I've got a 25-year-old son, and I mean, college kids are college kids.
Yeah.
We don't necessarily know every single thing they do, but I can tell you that night he was focused on getting that food for his fishing trip the next day.
Gotcha.
There'd been some drinks earlier in the night, but I mean, it wasn't to the point where he couldn't walk the dog, or he couldn't communicate with his sister, or he, you know, it wasn't anything like that. I mean, it's a Sunday night, right? I mean, he had class the next morning. I mean, you know, we've all been in college, and we know the party nights. The party nights, if there is such a thing, are Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And you know, this is a Sunday night. So
yeah, even with him and the roommates, I mean, they just didn't do that. I mean, yes, he's 21, but you know, he did, like, you know, enjoy, you know, like some of the craft IPAs, things like that. But not anything that night for sure that would have impaired him or blacked him out or anything like that. It just didn't happen.
Of course. The only reason why I ask is because he went outside. He was outside for a reason. So in my mind, I keep thinking, well, if he did smoke tobacco, let's just say that, smoke cigarettes, maybe he can't smoke inside the apartment. So he goes out there to smoke.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Or if it's anything else, you know, if he just wanted to, like you just said earlier, Tony, you know, just kill some time, you know, just get out there, be outside, enjoy the fog, enjoy the view, that kind of thing. So of course, you know, those things spark in my mind. And I also wonder if there's somebody who maybe pulled up, if he was picking something up from somebody, so on and so forth, which also leads to my next question. The Ring camera footage that we saw with Jenny, you know, cute dog, really cute dog. He seemed really happy when he was walking around with this cute little puppy. Definitely a future icebreaker, you know, for future trying to talk to a girl and all that stuff with this cute little puppy.
Right.
So he's there with his fellas. They go back into the apartment. So I'm wondering, is there more footage to that Ring cam footage that we haven't seen yet? And have you seen it?
So I can tell you this, I'll button all of this up for you. So that is what they consider it's technically the back door, which is where they were caught on the Ring doorbell footage. There's not additional footage from that camera because when he went outside to take the dog out by himself, he went out the front door. So that's why there's not additional footage from that camera. In addition to that, so there's some confusion, and just to clear this up for you, because this is where a lot of the reporting issues have come in. Where they entered and exited 90% of the time is where they park. So they park their vehicle, they walk in the door. That is technically the back door. The front door is out where the grass was, facing the pool. So there's two reasons he wouldn't have been caught on that camera. One of them is he probably went out the front door, because if he was going to go out the gate to get to the bridge, he would have gone out the front door, closer to the entrance of the apartment complex, whatnot. The other thing is that the Ring camera that caught him at 12:56 with his roommate and his friend playing with the dog, they had to get right up on that camera. Our guess is that she had the sensitivity turned down on it so they didn't constantly get alerts and get woke up.
Yeah.
So he did not ping on that camera or alert the camera until they got right up on that camera. So she got the sensitivity turned down. Even if he would have come out the back door, if he would have come out the door and just went straight down the sidewalk, probably wouldn't have seen him on that camera. And it was unbelievably foggy that night. I'm talking like 10 to 15 foot of visibility.
Wow. And that's really good to know. But is there any other footage then? Is there any other footage that you guys have seen showing him leave the apartment?
That's the 30-day question.
Wow.
We're looking for footage. We've looked for it ourselves. The departments has been steadfast in looking for it. The real downer in this situation is that, Randy and Becky moved their kid into this nice apartment complex, with the thought that it was safe, secure, it was gated, it had cameras. And then after this happens, we find out that the gates are left open at night. None of the cameras work. I mean, it's just an absolute train wreck.
It's interesting because I was just about to ask you about the surrounding areas of that apartment complex. Was the apartment complex, from what I'm hearing, was not in a very secure neighborhood or area? Is that true?
No, I wouldn't say it's a bad area at all.
It's considered a college apartment complex. It's not owned by the school. It's real close to some school owned, I guess upper class, whatever you want to call it, apartments, and it's all along that Ennis Jocelyn, and then also where that is kind of close to those. But there's nice stuff around there. There's nice homes further down the street. There's new developments going on there. Corpus has pockets, and that particular area is it's fine. I mean, we felt like he was secure, and then having a gated community with cameras, you would expect that would be secure. To find out that the gates don't work half the time and none of the cameras are working. Yeah,
no kidding. That's frustrating.
I can tell you, I told Justin last night, I said, look, I come down here for the first time last week, and I'm looking at all these decisions that Randy and Becky made as far as where to put their kid in school, where to house their kid, and who to put him with as far as roommates. And if you look at the whole situation, I mean, he's a kid that wanted to be in a coastal town because he loves to fish. They put him in a really nice apartment complex, supposedly secure. They put him with two phenomenal roommates. And, I've told Randy since then, I mean, that's a situation I would have put my son in, and I would have been blessed for my son to be in that situation. So, part of the surprise in this is that, they felt like they were putting him where he wanted to be, where he felt safe, where they felt safe for him. And, when you see the whole entire situation wrapped together, it really makes even less sense.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. There's so many unanswered questions here. Of course, that's the reason why you guys are here to talk about this. But at the same time, I mean, it's been 30 full on, starting in about 4 hours, less than 4 hours now. It'll be 30 days since Caleb has been missing. So what's the search been like for you guys?
It's been intense. It started immediately, even with the friends that we have right around the apartments. There's also other kids that are literally right across the parking lot that he's grown up with and went to high school with, played football with, all that kind of thing. But even when I got there, I mean, kids were already getting out and doing things, had drones up, doing, just doing all kinds of stuff. And then immediately, we started with the police, and the police brought out, their cadets from the academy, walking hand to hand around, the creek. The creek did not have water in it so much because it hadn't rained. So it was pretty much just muddy, just a muddy
Right.
creek. You wouldn't just walk in it. The search and rescue dive team came out. No dive tanks or anything like that. They just had their wetsuits on, and they're walking hand to hand, covering the entire creek bottom. It's a rough area because it's a lot of marshland, a lot of thick brush, and so it's a complicated area to search. But you start at ground zero and just start working our way out. Upwards of probably even that day 2 to 5 miles that day, and we had Texas search and rescue there as well, and then of course all the police. We had college kids. We had San Antonio search and rescue as well. They came on board a little bit after that, and they've been searching. Every time we get an idea or a place to send them, they go, and they've been incredible, doing that. Additionally, we were blessed with a gentleman that had a helicopter, and he donated that time, and so I spent about 12 hours in a helicopter last week, covering a massive amount of territory. You can do so much more, with a helicopter, and we're flying, 5, 10, 15 feet off the ground. We see something, we're hovering right over it.
Right.
And we made a lot of what I would call progress. We didn't find him, so that was progress.
Right. Wow.
Add to that.
I got to tell you a funny story about that pilot. His name was Randy too, and I called him Crazy Pilot Randy, and then I called this Randy Passenger Randy the day that I was with him. And this guy would take this helicopter, and he would land the bottom of the helicopter in the tree branches. And I told Randy, I said, I don't know if the guy is talented or crazy or both, but
he was amazing, and honestly,
it was wild.
Excellent pilot. Never once scared me at all. I mean, I was totally
comfortable.
Yeah, and just a blessing to have, somebody donate something like that we were able to just really cover a lot of ground, and just a blessing to have that.
What I found interesting with the guy too, what I found interesting with him is, anywhere you go, you can find a rich guy with a plane or a helicopter, and he wants to be in the middle of something, and he wants to donate something to make himself feel good. This guy was not that guy. This guy was kind. He was a hardworking farmer. And the entire time we were in that helicopter, his eyes were peeled. I mean, he was not just showing off that he was a great helicopter pilot. I mean, this guy was looking at Yeti cups on the ground, and I mean, he was plugged in, it was really it was a blessing.
That's amazing. But I mean, having that kind of person with that kind of expertise and that kind of focus and that kind of energy is amazing. And that's what you want with all the volunteers and all the organizations that are going out there contributing their time in trying to find Caleb. So I commend Crazy Pilot Randy for being so crazy and dope of a pilot. That's incredible. So then tell me this then, what's up with Crazy Pilot Randy? Is he still taking rounds with you, or did he
he's on standby though? Trust me.
He is. He really is.
Okay.
I actually have another gentleman from New Braunfels that has a very, very similar helicopter that's also said, hey, I'm on standby. We've also had lots of people with boats ready to go. It's just amazing. I mean, really is. Corpus Christi has really come out, but not only Corpus Christi. I mean, our friends, my wife, my daughter, and they've been my rock through all of this. And we've been just blessed by the outpouring of love from people we don't even know, people we haven't seen in 30 years. The volunteers have been amazing, and it's just been an incredible time of bonding with people that you just don't even know, and you hate to come together and things like that, but it's pretty amazing, to see just all the kids that came out and still engaged. If we need them, they're there. I mean, we can, if we get a tip, we've got an army of people that ready to go. And it's not just here. I mean, it's San Antonio, our families, family, friends, churches in New Braunfels. I've got family in other areas and friends all over the country that are just really bonded together. And even right now we're getting the reward flyer out to as many people as we possibly can to get it posted. And we had somebody donate billboards today. We've had billboards donated in New Braunfels. Just an incredible amount of people helping.
That's amazing. That's really, really amazing.
That's what we really need. I'll go back to the ring or the cameras too, if you don't mind.
Sure.
We're still looking for cameras. I mean, there's no doubt about it. Somebody's got to have a video out there, and it may not just be Corpus Christi. I mean, even though this is the epicenter of this, we're still begging people to take some time. 2:00 in the a.m. to 5:00 a.m. It takes 5 minutes to look through your ring camera or your
no doubt
surveillance camera, and he's got to come up somewhere. We're trying to find that true north.
Absolutely. That's the thing that's kind of driving me nuts is that so far, at least what has been released so far is just him walking with the dog, with his buddies before he disappeared. So, and I understand that there's fog and all that. I get all that. Trust me. But at the same time, I'm going, where's the rest of the footage? There's no security cam footage anywhere, no convenience store footage, no intersection footage, no nothing. That it just seems a little bit crazy to me that there's no footage. Sorry, say again.
Especially in 2024,
Right? Exactly. So can we talk about this too? Did he leave? Have dogs been unleashed as far as like tracking dogs, anything of that sort? Have they found, and you're nodding your head, so that's a yes. So did they find any trail, any trace of any type of scent for Caleb?
No, we've had different types of dogs involved, and from Godiva dogs to bloodhounds, and we got scents from his from his apartment, his truck, and none of them have been able to pick up anything. Interesting.
A few other questions about him personally. Okay. Sorry to shift so hard, but I do have to ask these. Does he have a significant other, a girlfriend of any kind?
No, his real focus was been college and hunting and fishing. I mean, they just during the winter they love to duck hunt. So a lot of times, I mean, the boys I've even questioned them sometimes, like, where are y'all? But they're asleep by 8:00 because they're waking up at 4:30 or 5 in the morning to get out to the duck blinds. So during the winter, they're fishing before school, or they're duck hunting before school.
Right.
So, and that's what they like to do. I mean, and he loves it. He absolutely loves duck hunting. And so, I mean, it's just, that's what they do. Yeah.
He was focused on his passions and what he wanted to build his career on. Right. So that does make sense.
Girlfriends, yes, but it just right now it was kind of like, you know what, I'm going to focus on school. I'm going to focus on my passions right now. And, right. I'm sure that, with most guys that changes overnight, but
right. No, of course. And any given Saturday, you never know, but still I am kind of curious about those things because and I hate to ask you this, but has he ever had any history of any type of mental struggles or anything of that sort?
No, not at all. Just no history of anything like that. No ailments at all. I mean, he's just a very healthy, as a matter of fact, he's extremely healthy.
Gotcha. Because I understand that we're all people. We all do different things. You know, one day we want to do something 15,000 times the same way over and over and over again. And then suddenly one day we switch things off and do something completely different. That's just who we are and the idiosyncratic things of being human, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I am kind of curious about, I know he's very predictable. Has he ever done anything like this, like that's erratic or anything unpredictable that's been a little bit out of character in the past?
No, he really hasn't. I mean, that's the hard part about this is he's not, you know, he's not, he's kind of a home body to begin with. I mean, if they weren't out in the bay somewhere doing something, I mean, they're in their apartment. They don't go out and party and all that kind of stuff. They have a few good restaurants they like to go to, and then they're at the apartment. They're playing video games. They're studying, going to the school studying, and like I said, Caleb was normally the first one to crash out, and just real typical. There's nothing like he would never just run away or never go do anything sporadic like that. He's very creature of habit.
Right. A creature of habit. I got you. Could we talk about law enforcement for a second? Because I know that, well, how have they been as far as their transparency with you, the communication line? Has it been solid or has it been a little staticky?
That's where I get kicked under the table.
I will say that we've have a lot of trust in them, and we do, and we have to, because they're doing a hard job, and we've always been back the blue 100%, and so that's we know that they've got a tough job, and I think Tony can attest to that. And what do you want to say?
Well, I mean, we 100% we back the guys in blue, and these guys do have a tough job. We got a little grief today because I told them on the live last night I was going to bust them up a little bit, but we did have a good conversation today, and we created some expectations on our end, on the family's end. And I told him, I said, look, we didn't come in here unprofessional, but I said, there's some things that we want to discuss, and there's some things that we'd like to know. And we believe that there's some things that the family deserves to know, not anything that's going to compromise the case, but, just in general. I mean, is there some good things going on here, or has this just been 30 days of nothing? And I said, we've got Randy's wife, Becky, and their daughter, Andy, back there, and they're on him every day for what's going on. And, you're not giving him much here. So, let's take your detective hat off for a minute. Let's put your father hat on. And if your son were in this situation, would you want the response to simply be, well, it's an ongoing investigation? Okay. I mean, what am I supposed to do with that?
No kidding.
The lady that had the dog stolen 3 months ago, that's an ongoing investigation too. I mean, you ain't wrong though. Yeah.
No, you ain't wrong. But okay, so now you guys had a meeting today and have basically kind of laid out the ground rules, found a happy medium and a better way of communicating between you guys and law enforcement, correct?
Absolutely. Right. It was a phenomenal meeting today. It was absolutely a phenomenal meeting. We were there almost 2 hours. And
quite honestly, if I have a question or if I've had something come up, maybe we've had a lead, or maybe somebody saw Caleb or whatever, there's been good open communication to be able to call one of the police chiefs or one of the detectives or the marshal, depending on what we may have, hey, what about this? What about that? And so the communication's been there, but I think the hard part for us is, like Tony said, we're 30 days into this and we don't really, where are we at? What are we doing? And so today was good, a good a good time to, really come together and kind of understand each other. And so I think it was a good meeting.
Yeah, we had a really, really good conversation. I told you this earlier today. We had a really good conversation with Joe Petito yesterday, who's Gabby's father, who's an absolutely just a phenomenal individual.
Yes, he is.
And, we got a little advice from him on, hey, I mean, Joe was kind of a bulldog, right? And we said, hey, you know what, how do you feel like we ought to handle these guys? You think we ought to rough them up a little bit, or you think we ought to, and his remark was definitively, you have to hold them accountable. So, and what I told the guys today is I said, hey, we back you guys. We support you guys. And if you guys feel like that you're doing a good job and you want us to feel like you're doing a good job, then you should not have issue with us holding you accountable. And we are going to hold you accountable.
I one thing about Joseph Petito is he keeps it real.
Oof.
And I love that guy. He's a good man. He's a good man. He's a good friend of the friend of the show. Good friend of the show. But what were you saying? I'm so sorry.
Well, I was just to say they encourage to continue pushing for social media and the news media as well. I mean, they encourage that. They were not against it at all, and because they know that you just never know. Something said, something here, whatever. The media is certainly a tool.
Yeah.
No doubt.
We had some private conversations too about, I was trying to get Randy up to speed with not only with your show, because I've been a member of your show for a long time. You probably didn't know that.
I did not know.
But I was,
and I'm sorry.
Well, and I followed the Gabby case, and I really followed the Idaho 4 case. And, I told Randy, I was trying to get him up to speed with, he knew of Gabby's case, didn't know much about Joe, didn't know much about the Laundry family, didn't know much about the Idaho 4. And I said, I think where we need to be is somewhere in between Joe Petito and Steve Gonsalves. I said, somewhere between there.
It's safe to be right in the middle. Somewhere in between is safe, Right. I definitely can see what you're trying to do there, what you're saying there, for sure. And obviously you guys are doing that now, right? You guys are doing more and more podcasts, more and more interviews, getting Caleb's name out there, doing as many interviews as you can. But I do know that it can get messy. These social media streets can get a little crazy. So I'm just letting you guys fair warning. You have been warned, but at the same time, it's a necessary evil, unfortunately, when it comes to getting your son's name out there and getting the justice and the truth of where your son is, really. So that's all I could say about the social media side. It can be a very beautiful thing, and it can really be a crazy thing too. So
and we're blessed there. I mean, we always try to thank, we've got the Facebook page that we've kind of partnered with and supported. And, it's run by Nicole and Priscilla and Christine. And we owe them a huge thanks. We got Christine, our third, we got one admin and 2 moderators. So we've got 3 people on there now policing that. And this week has been really a good week. It's, I think the crazies took the week off. And,
right.
So we owe the 3 of them definitely a thanks. And then, Randy kind of mentioned the company name, but, we've had Nina with her crew down here searching, and we certainly owe her and her crew a thank you. And, and just all the people praying and supporting the family, supporting Becky and Andy back home too. I mean, they've got an absolute cavalry of support, back in New Braunfels, and we're thankful for that as well.
Yeah, no, and that's a beautiful thing. I mean, it takes a village, right? It takes a village. It takes a full-on team, all hands on deck to do this. This is a very tough thing. I mean, given the fact that you guys have gone and have been running nonstop for almost 30 days, that's a lot.
Yeah.
How has it been for you guys personally?
It's hard. it's hard, but God's given us adrenaline, to just continue going, and that's our faith.
Yeah.
We had really a cool night tonight. I'll jump in and kind of lighten it up a little bit, but everybody knows his two roommates' names. They're out there everywhere, Drew and Josh, and phenomenal kids. And we told them when we were in town this week that we wanted to take them out to dinner, and we ended up, the Italian place we wanted to eat was closed, so we've been blessed to stay at a place here that's on a water inlet. And the boys, just like Caleb, are big into fishing. So we brought the roommates over tonight, ordered some pizza, cut up a little bit, poked at each other a little bit and did a little fishing. And I mean, it was, they actually just walked out. We're trying to be quiet when you got the interview started. But I think when I tell you these boys are broken, they're broken.
Yeah.
And I think it was absolutely incredible to have them over here hanging out so we could be there for them. They could be here for Randy. It was a cool night. I mean, I think they needed it badly. And not talking about the case either. I mean, talking about fishing, whatever, and just being guys. And then Randy just getting to see Caleb's friends and not have to talk about the case, just hanging out. It was really a cool night.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, it is. Today's been good. I mean, it's been a good day for morale, and we went to the school and dropped off flyers at the school, and I mean, we had a whole group of kids around us praying. I mean, just literally, let's pray with you. And then there was a Facebook post where they were praying live right there on the campus. So that means a lot.
Yeah. I can only imagine. This is, I'm sure, putting a strain on you guys, because it's just every day, right? And you're praying every day. You're doing everything you can, all the energy that is just that you put in just to even get out of bed and get on your feet, is even spent on trying to find Caleb. So it is really, really refreshing, I'm sure, when you get to see other people that are joining hands, either in prayer or in just trying to search for Caleb. What about the organizations? Are there any organizations that are helping you guys out? Any EquiSearch, any of that sort?
Yes, we had Texas Search and Rescue, or Texar. They were here. EquiSearch also came in. We've had a lot of other organizations that wanted to help. The biggest thing is again back to finding true north. It's hard to tell people where to go because we don't know where to go. And so that's been the tough thing, is we do have all the support and people want to, I got people calling me all day long. Hey, where can we go? What can we do? And right now we're because we've searched so much in the epicenter of Corpus Christi and all around Corpus Christi. The search is now more of a street search, getting those flyers out, talking to people, going to restaurants, going to wherever we need to go, whether it's hotels or in San Antonio, Austin, Dallas, Houston, and on. It's getting that public knowledge that we've needed so bad is finally picking up some momentum, and that's why we appreciate you having us on this tonight, because it's awareness that we fully believe Caleb. We're going to see him again. We have hope. That's what we have, and that's what we're clinging on to. And I've got that. Me and my wife have that gut family feeling, along with our immediate family, that we're going to see him soon.
I hope so too. I think we're all clinging on to hope, that you get to see his smiling face again, right?
Absolutely.
You get to go fishing with him again.
Absolutely.
Or do that one thing. I'm sure that you're telling yourself, man, when I get him, when I find him, we're going to do this as soon as I see him.
Yep.
Without a shadow of a doubt. We're not going to hesitate. We're not going to stop anything. We're not going to pump the brakes. We're just going to go and do it.
Absolutely.
Have you thought about that, Randy?
Yeah, we do. I mean, my wife and I both are we're looking forward to seeing him and loving on him and, continuing what he wants to do, and developing, Caleb. That's our job as parents is we want to see them be successful. We want to see them grow. And, I'm sure that we'll be staying real close to him.
Absolutely. I mean, you want to keep a close watch on your legacy, Right. So I understand that. I fully understand that.
Absolutely.
You want to see your art continue to blossom and develop and grow. It's a very beautiful and wonderful thing to do that. As a father, I totally can relate for sure.
Proud of them from the time they learn to ride a bike to catching their first fish or listen to their first strum on a guitar. That's what we live for. I mean, and so for this to happen is devastating and
incomprehensible.
It's just, I mean, it's a parent's worst nightmare.
Absolutely.
And it's very difficult, but we have our faith, and that's what's keeping us going. And we love the Lord, and so does he. And we're just going to get through it.
I'm praying for you guys, for real. Couple more questions. As far as the DoorDash driver, I know that they've been cleared, correct?
100%.
100%.
There's been another car that was driving in the parking lot or in that apartment complex around that 3 o'clock time.
Not involved.
Not involved. They were visiting. They were there visiting a girlfriend or something like that in passing. Correct.
And then went back to work in San Antonio. Cleared, not involved at all.
So aside from those two vehicles, the Uber Eats and that guy who was coming in to see his girlfriend, were there any other vehicles that were passing in and out of the parking lot?
Definitively there were, because we saw some other vehicles on a doorbell cam 2 days ago. And I talked to and police have this footage, but I talked to these two young girls. One of them was from West Texas and the other one was from San Antonio area, and they were roommates. And they said, I asked them, I said, 3:30 in the morning, Monday morning, one of the girls, I said, is it common for cars to be moving around at that time? And the girl said, well, I work at a bar, and if I'd have been working, I'd have been moving through here at that time. And she said, it's not super common, but she said, in a period of, 15 to 30 minutes, I mean, there'll be several cars coming in and out of here. There's just people with different lifestyles and different, just like Caleb, different creatures of habit, but their normal's different than somebody else's normal.
Gotcha. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying, even Caleb, I mean, he didn't have a job right now because we wanted to focus on school. But when he was working last semester in summer, he was working at a movie theater. So it wasn't uncommon for him to get home at, 2 o'clock, because the movies go late, then they got to clean the theater and all that kind of stuff. So, I hated that, but that was the norm on a Friday or Saturday night. He's, it's 1 or 2 before he gets 2:30 before he gets home.
Right. I mean, it's a college area, right? So I can understand that.
Very
just being
area. I mean, just people everywhere walking their dogs, doing stuff.
Right. Even at 3.
Beach area too.
Yeah, it's a beach. He loves to surf too.
Beach area too.
Yeah, even at 3 o'clock in the morning. Sorry. Yeah. So even at 3 o'clock in the morning. Tony, you were going to say something?
Yeah, I mean, it's a beach area. It's a college town. I mean, they've got. I mean, everybody knows what Whataburger is. If you got a Whataburger, there's somebody up at 3 o'clock in the morning.
No doubt.
Yeah, they're open 24 hours. That's the place to go.
Yeah, no doubt. So I do have a couple questions from the from the family chat I want to grab here. So Tequila in Crime asks or says, blessings to you all. This mama heart cannot imagine my baby's missing. Bring Caleb home. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Tequila. Crystal, thank you so much. Fog was thick. Does law enforcement think maybe a hit and run, but they took the body elsewhere to avoid being caught?
You know, they actually brought that up today, but it was ruled out pretty quick, you know, just simply because it's impossible if it's a hit and run that's bad enough to do that kind of damage for there to be no evidence. And, you know, not only would there have been some visual evidence, but there would have been some dogs that would have hit on that. And I think they ruled that out pretty quickly.
Yeah. Good question, though. Solid question. Because I mean, I hate to say that, right? And I say that with all due respect, but everything's basically still on the table because nothing's been canceled out, right? That there's.
Well, I think there's some things that have been canceled out, right? So now we know the hit and run's been canceled out. I mean, you know, when you start an investigation like this, you start with everything is inside the circle until you push it out, right?
Right.
So, you know, the hit and run's been ruled out. The family's been ruled out. The roommates have been ruled out. The Uber Eats driver's been ruled out. So, you know, a lot of the people that were close to the case or that had contact with him in that last hour or so, a lot of those people have been ruled out. I think it's more so that there's not a lot of feasible options left after that. And that's kind of where we're at now.
Yeah, no, I understand that. And you're right. That question at least is off the table now, right? There's
Correct.
still a bunch, but we're slowly chiseling away each question, each possibility. And hopefully we're able to debunk or confirm those theories one at a time, right?
And those are good. And those are good questions. You know, the prayers first, and then that question. You know, if I could get a message out and have you help us deliver a message, you know, in addition to, you know, hey, we got a $50,000 reward. Hey, we want everybody to check the Ring doorbell cameras. I mean, most importantly, the message I'd like to deliver to everybody that's watching is that, you know, the people that are out here playing these games on social media and these people that are doing hurtful things to the family and playing April Fool's jokes and trying to get personal and trying to do these things. I mean, look, folks, let me tell you something. It's a very, very, very good thing that you're behind the keyboard. I can tell you that, because it's not a game. This is somebody's family. This is real for them. The reason you're able to get on a Facebook page or some other kind of page and act crazy is because somebody's child's missing. So, you know, before you get on there and with a fake profile or under an anonymous name and start getting crazy, just remember that, you know, this could land on your doorstep. And how would you want other people to react if this were your life? So it's definitely not a game. And I would ask everybody out there to, if you see somebody turning this into a game, whether it be live, visually, social media, or whatever, I mean, hey, be a brother or sister to the family and shut it down, because there's just no place for it.
You know what? I approve this message all day long. I approve this message. He said what he said. So all you guys that are out here talking trash, you need to shut it. Okay, I'll translate it, because you said it very diplomatically. So I'll translate it for everyone else in the nosebleed seats. Okay, be kind out here. This is a real life that we're talking about. These are real families that we're talking about, for real. Okay, and so thank you so much for saying that, Tony. J1, thank you. Says, can you ask Mr. Harris if they've talked to Riley Strain's family? That's actually very.
Too soon.
No.
Not yet.
Too soon for the Strain family.
Okay. Gotcha.
They need a little bit of time to heal.
Gotcha. Well, you let me know, because I do have that contact information. I can connect you guys, no problem, because I'm sure there's stuff that they went through that maybe they can help you
Absolutely.
so on and so forth, right? And they are active right now. So maybe it's not too soon, just so you guys know. Because I just talked to Riley Strain's family friend this morning, and they're still very active in trying to get clarity and just understanding everything, just so you guys know. No pressure. T-Rev, thank you. We will spread the word. Good interview, Pascal. Thank you. We are praying for you. Thank you so much for the prayers. Tequila, again, thank you so much. Please have them reach out to Houston news channels, because we have seen zero coverage of this so far. Can we talk about this for a second?
Channel 13 is getting ready to do a story in Houston.
Thank you. Okay, good. Because I'm wondering what the heck is going on here, and why is it taking it's so doggone long for any coverage on Caleb. I've seen, okay, shout out to News Nation. I think you guys have been on Nancy Grace. If I'm correct, Court TV?
Fox and Friends.
I've not done Court TV, but we did Fox and Friends.
Well,
we've
I'm going to say you're about to be on Court TV. I'll make sure that happens, dag nabbit.
But who did you just ask us if we wanted to talk to, though?
Court TV.
No. Who'd you ask me if we wanted to talk to? Somebody asked me if we'd reached out to who?
Oh, Houston.
Riley Strain's family.
Riley Strain's family, yes.
So when we're talking about, why we got stuck not getting, media attention, I mean, Riley went missing 4 days after Caleb went missing, but, Nashville's a major media market. And there was a lot of visual evidence in that case. And there was more intriguing things. If you're a true crime person, there was things to talk about, things to go off of. There was an active search. There was a credit card found by the river. I mean, there was things to pull people in, and in all of that, we kind of got lost in the shuffle. But we're gaining momentum now.
Absolutely.
I will say the local Corpus Christi TV channels did come out immediately, and we've done several interviews with them, and they've been great. And San Antonio as well. We've got some really good people in San Antonio that have done some wonderful interviews, and are even continuing to check up on us. From a personal basis. My daughter had her birthday during all of this, and so they reached out. Hey, be sure and wish her a happy birthday and things like that. And that means a lot. We've had Austin channel as well. But we've got to continue having that next level.
And you can be the one to break this, but we're going to be on Banfield tomorrow night. And that's huge for us. We're looking for her and Brian Enton both. So, that's a great one.
Oh yeah, I mean they're two powerhouses in the realm of missing persons, the true crime realm, and all that stuff as well. So they do really, really great. Shout out to Brian Enton and Ashley Banfield. Absolutely good. I'm happy to hear that. That's fantastic. That makes me happy. That makes me really happy. No, seriously, because as soon as it. I should get paid for this. But anyway, when I say this stuff, but when you go over there, especially on Banfield's show, it just explodes. It just explodes. So I'm very, very happy to hear that is happening. Because I know you guys have done some interviews with Brian Enton on other. I thought you didn't.
Not yet.
No, we have been. We have been after Brian Enton, and he's obviously he was on the Riley case for a while. Then he got pulled off, but we talked to the producers tonight, and they told us that Banfield's tomorrow and Brian Enton's coming right after that, and they assured me of that. So, and we're big News Nation fans.
Yeah, we've done several. I mean, even Chris Como was actually the second day. I mean, I did a interview with him. And we had been searching all day and literally on the highway interview. I pulled over the side of the road and we did an interview, and he was really, it was really nice. And it was just a great opening to this world.
Yeah. I mean, Chris Cuomo was Chris Cuomo. So I'm a fan. So that's great. That is really, really great. And I'm happy that first off, that the ball is finally moving. right? It's definitely picking up some momentum, like you just said, Tony. The word is getting out here. People are getting to know about Caleb, getting to see his face and all that. And that's one of the reasons why we are here, right? Why you are here on the show with me, talking about this, blessing me with your time, because I know you guys could be sleeping right now, getting that much needed R&R, plotting and getting ready for your next day, for the next day's search, etc. So it does mean a lot that you guys are here. Crystal says, ruled out gives us hope. God bless you both. I don't know what that first part meant, but
Thought maybe that was some kind of Pascal code language or something.
Yeah, that was not from me. I will say that is not one of my sayings, but I appreciate you saying God bless you. Tequila. It is ridiculous that they have not covered this so far. It makes me so upset for you guys. Houston is not far at all. ABC 13 is the one to reach out to. So ABC 13 definitely is one to reach out to. Now, do you have somebody that's doing your media as far as reaching out to media reporters, etc. at all?
We do.
Okay.
I've been handling most of that. We've changed our philosophy on who we're going after and how we're going after them, and we've kind of got a blend now of outside of Corpus stations, so regional stations. Most of the other traditional stations we're shooting for nationwide coverage.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing a lot in the TikTok and YouTube community, so we're averaging about probably 2 interviews a day the last few days. And I'd say that's a conservative number. And, we're not afraid to turn interviews down anymore either. I mean, some of the same local things, they really helped us in the beginning, get us started and whatnot. But, we're a little more selective as to who we do stories with, no different than on your platform. I mean, we're not really interested in doing an interview with everybody on YouTube, as you can understand.
Yeah, absolutely.
We also in addition to what Tony's done is we've had a lot of really close friends of the family that have jumped on board and done some unique things to get some things rolling, as well as our family. I mean, my mother-in-law, my father-in-law, my brother-in-law's sisters, they've all done different things to get the media going. And so we've reached out to a lot of just personal friends and family that may know somebody,
right.
and even close friends that may know somebody somewhere. And that's been a big help. And also some guidance from, some family friends that have been district attorneys and things like that have helped us to understand the system, because when you're thrown into something like this, you just don't necessarily understand what's going on in the background. And
absolutely,
we've been blessed with some close family friends that have been able to help us in that area as well.
Absolutely.
Why is this entity involved? Why is this entity involved?
Yeah.
Why aren't we getting this? Why is this person involved, but he's not talking to me? I mean, just little things like that.
Yeah. So I guess my question is then, cell phone. His cell phone was with him when it's not at the house or at the apartment.
Correct.
Have you guys dove into his phone? Have you gotten into his phone records to see what was going on? Maybe he was on some sort of app talking to somebody, X, Y, and Z, to rendezvous somewhere. Is there any pieces of information on that at all?
The authorities have all of that. They took the MacBook early on. More recently, they took the iPad and Apple Watch. I kind of wish they'd have taken the iPad first, because obviously it mirrors the iPhone more than the MacBook does.
Mm-hmm.
But they have it all, and trust me when I tell you, they've got some real horsepower going into that stuff, from the forensic teams, all the way to the FBI, to the Secret Service and everybody else. So I would venture to say that every keystroke that's been made on those devices, they've got that information.
Gotcha. I mean, I hope we can get something. I mean, I keep thinking that obviously we only see that one ring cam video and that's it, right? And I'm wondering if there's more footage, if they And I know that you guys are asking for everyone to look at the ring cam footage, look at the security cam footage, shoot even Teslas, because Teslas run, their security cameras run 24/7.
That's a good suggestion. And we actually had that suggestion from a close friend. And unfortunately, there was only one Tesla in the entire apartment complex. But yeah, you're right. The Teslas do have that capability in it. And that's a great thing to be looking out for sure.
Yeah, just something to think about, because you just never know, right? Or any of these other cars that are out here that are all souped up with all these bells and whistles. Maybe there's something there, maybe there's not, but I just hope that police have more footage or more information out here. Are they looking into areas of water? Have they started to go through that kind of excursion yet?
Not so much anymore.
Not anymore. We did have the Texas Parks and Wildlife with their airboats and volunteer boats and things like that in the very beginning, and then it really kind of eliminates it when you get in a helicopter, because we explored every body of water here, up creeks, reservoirs, down the beach. We have a massive amount of beach area with sand dunes, things like that. We explored in detail a lot of that, and that was the advantage of having the helicopter, because we could go so far with that you can't go. And actually, there's a little bay that's near the apartments that they never fish in, because it's kind of a trashy bay area, and it's too shallow and stuff like that. But they were able to get airboats in there, and even search and rescue did dives around the bridge area, the causeway areas, the bridges, some submerged bridges. So there has been a water assault, but the helicopter was really a big advantage to that. And our search and rescue teams, they've hit a lot of the areas. Even the roommates, that same day, there was a report of possible sighting, and they were putting their waders on and they ran. I mean, they were gone for 3 hours, trudging through mud at a certain bridge, and that's the passion that these kids have had.
Yeah, I mean, that's amazing. I'm hoping that we're getting some sort of clarity here very soon. And I really think that, one, I know that you guys have pumped up a lot the reward to $50,000. I know, Tony, you just mentioned it a little bit ago, so I wanted to bring it up again really quick. It's $50,000. Can you expand? Randy, do you mind giving us a little bit more information about this $50,000 reward?
It's a $50,000 reward for information leading to the safe return of Caleb. That's what we need, and we're putting it up. Of course, flyers and billboards, and even around Corpus, there's a lot of LED signs now. At the Kentucky Fried Chicken, that have that up there, and so we're trying to get that word out, not only in Corpus, but around the country. Really, at some point, hopefully somebody will come forward with information that'll lead to his whereabouts, and we can go get him.
What's Caleb's favorite color?
A lot of people ask that. It was orange when he was a little kid, but if you look at him being an outdoors kid, his truck is green. Most of his clothes have green in them because he's either camouflage or whatever. But green, green football, school colors. So that hunter green, I would say, is probably the color that he would choose.
Okay, so green, guys. Okay, whole bunch of, we could do both, orange and green.
Yeah.
Orange and green heart emojis in the chat for Caleb and Caleb's family. I know we got to wrap up here, but I just wanted to say, I am praying for you guys. I am praying for Caleb. I know a lot of people that are watching the show right now are praying for him and hoping for his safe return. I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for coming on. I know it's been a long night, a long day. And I know you guys have much more to do tomorrow. putting out a lot of fires and trying to find your son. Is there anything else that, you'd like to put out there, let everybody know before we wrap up tonight? Tony.
Well, we just appreciate you, man. I mean, this was short notice, and
Yeah.
you've got a loyal following. Like I said, I've been following you for a couple years now, or a year and a half, I guess. And we just appreciate you getting us on short notice and helping us get the word out. And we have a huge amount of respect for the way that you run the program. I mean, it's run with professionalism, integrity, and we'll be on again. We know you like to push to YouTube, but we probably at some point we'd like to do a TikTok with you or something like that.
Oh, I'm down with that.
Yeah,
for sure.
Maybe bring Justin on and Cindy on, and just have a kind of an open panel discussion about thoughts on the case and that kind of thing.
Yes, I'm down with it for sure. Randy?
No, I want to just echo what he said, and thank you for giving us this platform and for your community and what it means to us to have the opportunity to be on here. And we ask everybody to just continue prayers and support and get the word out.
Okay. So Randy, I got a question for you. It's a really personal question. But of course this has to do with Caleb. We just talked about it like a few minutes ago, maybe 20 minutes or so ago. And I mentioned, like, I'm sure you've told yourself when you get him, you're going to go and do that one thing that maybe he's been wanting to do with you, but you've been pushing back or holding back on it for a reason, for whatever personal reason it may be. Could you share that with us? What that is that you would do with him as soon as you see him? Do you mind?
Really, probably going fishing. Just that's a passion for both of us, and being with the family, probably getting away, and trying to decompress, and looking out for what his needs are. We don't know what his needs are going to be, and that's going to be first and foremost. And then from there, get back to some sort of normality, which we'll never really have. But God's good, and we're just gonna love on him first. And we're gonna go fishing. We're gonna do some fly fishing for sure.
Oh, that's lovely. That's lovely. And I'm hoping that happens very, very soon. And hopefully
just be hanging on to him.
Yeah, exactly.
His little sister too. His little sister is his world, and vice versa. They love each other very much, and they're very close friends. And she's hurting as well. And
absolutely.
So it's important.
It is. And hey, let's try to get your son back to you as quickly as we can.
Thank you.
Again, thank you so much for coming on. Tony Mathis, thank you so much for being on here, brother. Your energy you have no idea how important your energy is here as well. So I commend you for being here, taking out time out of your work, life, etc., just being right there for the Harris family. And maybe you don't get the flowers that you deserve right now, but I'm giving them to you right now. You are blessed, and you're an incredible individual for being there for them. Just so you know.
Wouldn't have it any other way, brother.
All right. You stay blessed. You guys stay strong. Okay. And I'm praying for you guys. Let's bring them home.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Appreciate
you
you.
Too. Good night.
Bye. Well, hopefully you guys appreciated that conversation. Big thank you to the Harris family and to Tony Mathis for being on the show. It really does mean a lot. There's a lot of energy that's being used right now from just that family and, of course, from Tony alone. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's really important that we put the name out there. We let people know about Caleb Harris. Yes, he went missing around the same time Riley Strain went missing. Around the same time, in the same month that Sebastian Rogers went missing, and a slew of other people that have gone missing over the past just a few months. So I urge you guys, I understand we have to put the same energy behind all of these hashtags, but unfortunately, That's just how the game is, unfortunately. This is a family that needs as much help as they can. The more we hashtag Caleb Harris's name, the closer we get to finding out where he is. The more energy law enforcement gets behind the investigations and the search for Caleb Harris. So I urge every single last one of y'all, please hashtag his name. Start making those TikToks. Start making those videos, those reels, those whatever. Start getting the word out here about Caleb Harris. Let people know his story in the last few minutes before he disappeared and was never heard from ever again. I want to remind you, in less than an hour and a half, it will be 30 days since Caleb Harris was last seen. It'll be 30 days, guys. Now, I know I've been late to the party. I was late to this story, and I feel terrible about it. That's the reason why I'm trying to do as much work as I can by bringing on this wonderful family, this caring and loving family, and bringing their words out to you, getting the information out to you as quickly as I can, because that kid has been gone out there somewhere where we don't know where he is for the last 30 whole days. Think about that for a second. That's terrifying, right? And Tony said something that was very true. He's right. He's absolutely right. Riley Strain's case, and there's no better than, more interesting than, none of that. It's just that Riley had much more footage. We have one stitch of ring cam footage for Caleb, and it's him before, hours before he disappeared, walking a dog, hanging out with his friends, smiling with his hands in his pocket, very, very casual, very, very relaxed. And then a few hours later, he's gone. He disappears without a trace, allegedly barefoot as well. So, of course, there's not a whole lot that we can look at. There's not a whole lot that we can dissect, put on our tinfoil hat and go, oh, yeah, you know, it was the Martians that came from Neptune. I get that. Okay. We can't be out here conspirizing and theorizing. I get it. But at the same time, this young man's name and this young man's life needs to be found. So please, I ask you, I beg you guys, please, hashtag Caleb Harris. Put his name out there. Share this feed, share this interview. Like I said, make those TikToks. Start putting the word out here. Let people know what's going on here, because this young man needs our help. We're late, but we're not that late. So please do that for me, guys. That would be greatly appreciated. Let me grab these super chats really quick. Tequila, thank you so much. Amen to the family. Anyone that is live right now or keeping track should tag all Houston or Texas news channels in any story related to Caleb. Absolutely, I agree. You know, there should be a big uptick, a swelling of his name, right? Go on the X, all that stuff. Do whatever it is that you need to do. Okay, put in that energy. Thank you so much, Mary, for the super sticker. I really do appreciate it. Tequila again. One more thing. Why no Amber Alert yet? Regardless of age, they should know you know your babies. They should know you know your babies. You know what? I don't know about the Amber Alert, but at the same time, it doesn't. It seemed like they were saying that it's not coming off. I don't know. I'm wrong there, but let me retract that. I don't know why. Okay, just to answer that, I do not know why. Baby Kisses says stops at 18, so that could be it too. He is 21. Cece, thank you so much for the $20 super sticker. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so very much. Soybean, thank you so much for being a member for the past 9 months. That means the world to me. Thank you so much. Great family interview. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. Okay. It's an honor to be able to do what I do every single day, bringing in these stories, talking with every single last one of y'all, and talking to these families. And like I said, every single time I do these interviews and these conversations, I'm hoping that one day it'll be that thing, that one conversation that just suddenly goes, boom. There he is. There she is. They're knocking on the door. They're safe and sound. I always hold on to hope. I really do. And I think, and I believe that we should for this case as well. You never know. You just never, ever know. So please put his name out there. Please hashtag, please share this video, share this conversation, put it out there. Take clips from this interview, put it on the TikToks, put it on the TikToks, okay? Do whatever it is that you need to do. Share. Just share. Okay? Tequila, yes, we need a new system. For sure. For any age, I agree too. I really do agree with that too. It shouldn't just be 18 under. I think it should be for every age because people are getting taken left and right. And we got other stories to talk about here very, very soon. Mandy, thank you so much for the $2 super sticker. I really do appreciate it. Okay. But guys, again, Caleb Harris, just remember that. You heard everything. We broke down everything that we know so far. Everything. Okay. We even went under the rug, under the rocks. Okay. We looked through every nook and cranny. I asked every question I could think of. All right. To cover every base on this case that we have so far. I'm hoping that law enforcement have more information, have more videos, or at least they're getting some more. I don't know. I'm hoping for something new. Because that Ring camera is just not enough, guys. Anyway, guys, I appreciate all y'all for being here. It really does mean a lot. You guys are incredible. Like I said, without you, there would be no show. There would be no awareness on these individuals. Let me show you his face one more again. Caleb Harris. 21 years old, went missing because he went outside. He took a walk, possibly a little stroll outside his apartment complex, and now he is nowhere to be seen. So please share his face, hashtag his name. Let's get the word out. It's time to rev the engines up, guys. It's been 30 days. I know we can do better than that. Please and thank you. Now, before I head off, I will be on TikTok in just a few minutes. So stick around. We're going to be doing a little talky talk. All right. A little short after show talk. So join me on my TikTok. So go on over there to the Pascal Show, one word. Hit that follow button. Wait for me over there. I'll be on in about 5-10 minutes. And we're going to chop it up over there. Okay, because I want to hear your thoughts about everything. I want to hear the information that you guys may have. Maybe you have more to this case. Maybe you don't. But we're going to get together and we're going to talk about it. All right. So please join me over on TikTok for a quick late live. All right. Also, before we head out, please do me a favor. Hit that like button down below. Please and thank you. All right. If you appreciated the conversation, let's get it past 1,000 likes. Let's get to 1K before we leave. You want to know why? It helps get the word out there. It helps get this video out to other people that don't know anything about Caleb's case. It helps the case. So please hit that like button down below. Hit that reaction button if you're watching on any of the other platforms. All right. Follow me on my other platforms. That's Facebook, X, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, Follow me on those platforms. That'd be greatly appreciated. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button over here on the YouTubes. That'd mean a lot. Of course, if you want to join the family, hit that join button down below. If you're watching on YouTube, I got Patreon, patreon.com/The Pascal Show. Go over there as well. You can also check out pascalmerch.com. Okay? Please go over there. Support. That'd be greatly appreciated. But most importantly, hashtag his name. That's all I ask. It's that simple. Okay, guys. It's time to get going. I'll see you guys on TikTok. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. I'll see you guys soon. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.